Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Chats with Anne and Rye. This week we are talking about the 2024 movie Speak No Evil, written and directed by James Watkins and starring James McAvoy. Let's get into it. So it's a bit of a psychological thriller. We've got an American couple who meet a British couple while they're on vacation. The British couple invite them to their little farmhouse and things start to not be as clear as they could be, and they're not as nice as they appear to be on the outside. And then
Mhm.
obviously they've got to try and get away from them, basically.
Huh.
Um, yeah, I thought it was okay. Look, this is not going to be saying that I didn't like it. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I
Mm.
thought there were some really good things and really some kind of okay things. Loved James McAvoy. How can
He's
you not love
great.
James Mc? He's so good. He's so it's almost he's the exact opposite of it. Who his character is Paddy. He's a doctor.
Hmm.
He's very um, extroverted. He's very charismatic. He's got some really good kind of quotations that he talks about. He talks about you know technology is making people you know we're all being fake on the internet. People aren't talking anymore. It's making us all anxious and cranky and stuff like that. They like to spend wisely on things that last. A good watch, a good ring, and then obviously
A good
they turn
podcast,
into
you know.
a good podcast. Yep, that's right. I like good segue. They've got a very friendly relationship with his wife,
Mm.
whereas the American couple, they're a little bit, there's some tension going on between them,
Yeah.
which we obviously find out throughout the movie. Um, yeah, they're almost like the power couple, and then they become the kind of the not so nice couple it's revealed later on.
Yeah, they are. They're a bit alternative. I guess and that's a way
Yeah,
to put it. But to come back to James McAvoy, what I really like about him is he's not a tall guy and still is buffed up to the way that he's quite impressive and intimidating. I mean, he's very
yeah,
good at making things uncomfortable, even in when they are on the cliff and he's down to his underwear, which is not even nice, like a black brief. And he's still like, well, I wouldn't mess with this guy. It seems
yeah.
pretty dangerous.
Um, yeah. There's obviously scenes throughout the movie. You almost don't know that he's doing it intentionally or accidental. Because when they first meet, um, Louise and Ben. So Louise and Ben are the American couple. They're played by Scoop McNairy and Mackenzie Davis. I like them both as actors. I thought they both did a good
Yeah,
job. I'm going to get into some of their characteristics in a second. When they first meet, Patty and Kiara, Louise makes a reference that she's a vegetarian, and then when they
yeah,
go to the dinner for the first time, Paddy's butchered their goose for her, and he's force feeding her. She's not telling him, "Hey, don't remember I'm a vegetarian."
yeah.
Whether he's done that intentionally, obviously later as the movie progresses, you can kind of see that he probably did it as a power trip. He's obviously done
Yeah.
that. He has done that intentionally, whereas at that time you go, "Well, that was a bit of an accident," but then it's
Yeah,
obviously
I think it. I definitely I think it's intentional, and you can see from the onset how he progresses with little transgressions. And the first thing is when they meet, he takes the daughter on a very short round on the motorbike without a helmet, which she's not okay with. And he's like, no, that's fine. I'll be super careful. And it's going to be very short. And he still does it. So he knows that he's pushing those little transgressions on them. And that's another one. And then they escalate like when the daughter is sleeping in the same bed as them. That's another transgression, but that's a bigger one until it's revealed and they're in the basement and they are taking their money and they're about to kill them and cut the daughter's tongue, blah, blah, blah. She's asking him, why are you doing this? And he says, very truly, because you let us. And that for me really sums up all the escalation and all the tension that's been building up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good point. I like that. Um, all right, we'll talk about a couple of things. The pacing of the film, I thought could have been a little bit better because we spent
Really?
so much time. Yeah, that's just for me personally. It only really, you only really found out that they're this like evil couple in the last half an hour of the movie,
Mm,
whereas there was too much build up of kind of those tense moments where, the motorcycle moment, the goose moment, the dancing, the kids dancing
mm,
to the song. There was quite a lot of those little snippets which are the slow escalation that this couple, even though they're kind of a power couple, there's something a bit off about them.
yeah.
I found that just a little bit. It just took too long for me to try to get to that point where I wanted to get to.
That's interesting. I have another take
Okay.
on the pacing. I would say up to the reveal, I would call that elastic tension in the way that it's not always keeping you on tenterhooks. It's getting very tense because something happens. And then there is, but maybe there is an explanation, blah, blah, and it relaxes. And then it goes back up and then it relaxes. Like when you're playing with a rubber band and you tense on it and you release this and you don't know when this is going to snap, but you know that eventually it is going to snap. And that was quite tense up until the reveal. And then after the reveal, when they're in the house and chasing each other and defending themselves, I was not scared and I was not tense. It was actually quite fun. It's like you have several things when she's throwing like the sink drainer to his face, or she's putting the big fork in her pants and then she
Yep.
squats and
She
she
poked herself.
stabs herself and she's like,
Oh,
ow, that's
or
funny.
when they're doing the Molotov cocktail and they've dropped it on the
Yeah.
ground and he's like, oh,
And
and
it
then he
doesn't
throws it,
work.
and then he throws it out and it's fallen off the roof and it's
it
slammed into
it's
the car.
actually hilarious. It's
I,
hilarious, and
I,
I
it
I
breaks
like
that
that. I
tension,
like the I like that
comedic
change of
moments.
I like that change of tone of it was very 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 tense. It snaps and then it's just fun. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, that would that. uh, I like that. All right. We should. Awkward silence. Sorry, everybody. There's also a couple of moments where, there's that moment where he's obviously they're trying to get to the ladder. They're on the roof. The ladder's fallen down along with
Mm,
something else. We won't say what else fell down. And Ben has got to kind of fall off the roof himself to get to the ladder.
yeah.
You felt that. Oh, my 40-year-old
Yes.
knees felt that because you go, oh my gosh, and then because up until that moment, there's the couple of Ben and Louise. Ben's the beta and Louise is really the alpha in that marriage.
Oh
Whereas
yeah, he sucks. He's such a wuss.
yeah,
She kicks ass, but he's such a
yeah.
wuss.
Whereas obviously in the Patty Kiara relationship, Patty's the alpha, Kiara's, well, she could almost be an alpha as well, but she's slightly the beta. Yeah, they're both quite aggressive themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where he kind of finally had a bit of a backbone in the relationship. He's
Yeah.
he's in this marriage where at the very beginning he's looking at Patty having a drink and he's like, "Oh, should we get a beer?" And she's like, "Oh, it's early." And then he kind of backtracks. Okay, yeah, it's a bit too early.
Yeah.
Then he's obviously he's off. He's gone go get the bunny because she's lost the bunny, and he's upset because he has to go find the bunny. It was very odd that, she's just there's not a lot of love that seems like that is in that marriage. It seems like it's a very strained marriage, which it's revealed later on that she's had not had an affair, but has wanted to kind
almost.
of almost had an affair. So there's kind of
Yeah.
that
I like
tension in
I
that
actually,
marriage.
yeah, there is, and I like that. I was thinking about it, and I think there is a reason why they did it this way. Because for me, she's the voice of reason when they're getting the first, like the postcard, the invitation to come. She's the one saying, "Well, we barely know them. That would be weird to go for a weekend with people that we barely know in a very remote part of the country." But he wants to do it. And because of what she has done, almost cheated, she's feeling guilty and she's humoring him. So she's making an effort. And throughout all the little transgressions as well, every time she's saying something about, she's not saying anything about being a vegetarian. She's tolerating when they're saying something about to her daughter about doing something a certain way. She doesn't want to. You can really feel that, but she's being polite for him up to the point where it's like, no, that's too much. That's really crossing the line, and this is where I'm going to draw the line. And I don't care about what you think, or I don't care about being polite anymore. So
Yeah,
it's
that was
it's
when, yeah,
always dancing that line, and I thought that there's something that I liked about this movie is that I didn't think that the characters were stupid. A lot of very often in horror movies, especially, you have the feeling that somebody's going to do something dumb just because you need to move the plot forward and you need to, up the body count for some reason. But here, everything felt that there is a reason, or you feel, I understand where they are coming from. I understand why they are doing things the way that they are doing it. And still, it's still unescapable what is happening to them. So that I really liked about this movie.
yeah, and the characters felt real as well.
Yes.
Um, there's real tension in any marriage. Obviously, not as strong as this one here, but you're always going to have that. You're always not always, but there's moments in throughout every marriage where you're going to have that kind of tension,
There
and there's
is.
yeah,
Yeah, and not to
yeah,
excuse what she has done, like, about the sexting, but she's saying it about, well, you're always angry, and I uprooted my life to move to London and to do everything for you, and you were still angry. Basically, it's like you don't appreciate me, and that's what is leading me to almost cheat. Not that
yeah,
it's excusable, but you also understand where she's coming from. It's human.
yeah, and that's why obviously there are moments where he doesn't seem like he's upset, but she's like, "Why are you angry?" And he's like, "I'm not angry," and it was almost like she's stopping him from getting there because she knows what he can be like, I suppose. It just,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I felt that there was, what was I going to, there was something else I was going to write. Sorry, I'm just going through my own notes. Uh, I loved the kid who plays Ant in the,
Yeah, he's
and
good, right? Yeah.
he has your name. He's another Ant. I thought he did such a great job because
Mm,
obviously you know, ha poor kid's had his tongue cut out by these bad
horrible
guys, and he's
people. Yeah.
throughout the whole movie he's trying to warn this new family what it's about, and it's like then takes it down to he takes the daughter down to the cellar and he's showing them all the photos of all the past families that they've done it with.
He's
Uh,
very clever in the way that he does it, not to get caught as well.
yeah,
It's smart cookie.
and then it almost gives you shivers down the back of your neck when he gets to his own family's photo, and it's
Mm,
him sticking out his tongue, and then it's his dad,
yeah,
and then he shows it does like the
the
chopping
snip.
of the
Yeah,
scissors. Oh, yeah, that's
yeah, and the
I like
music
yeah,
that on that is also
yeah, oh,
it goes very well with it to make you a bit like, yeah,
yeah.
Shiva. Um,
Yeah, and then obviously he gets his revenge at the end of the film as well, which is
it
brute,
does.
brute, brutal, and
Hmm.
it's
But
almost
fun.
but fu fun. Was I wrong in thinking, oh my God, that's both brutal and hilarious at the same time? I'm glad
It
I'm not
is.
the only one that.
Especially, it's even more hilarious because nobody is stopping him. They are just like looking at him like, oh,
Yeah,
when they let him go, it's hilarious.
yeah. And then he's finally vocalizing as well, because I think that was the first, because he obviously can't talk, but
Yeah.
can scream. So he's screaming as he's doing it. So it's just like,
Yeah. Speaking of ending, so we both haven't seen the original Danish movie, Speak No Evil, from 2022. Do you know the ending of the
I,
original movie?
I've, I've read about it. So when I looked through some trivia, I'm aware of how that it's a very different ending towards
It's a
this
very
movie.
different ending, and I know that some people were upset about the change of ending. And I haven't seen the movie, so I feel that I can't fully judge. But I think that ending was very fitting with this movie and the tone of it. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought this is how it needed to end.
Yeah.
It did have a Hollywood ending, but
Mm.
it was written well.
It was not
Like if
forced. It didn't feel forced.
no, yeah, it the only thing I wasn't a big fan of was the inclusion of the third adult against them. That didn't
Yeah.
feel that could have probably you could have done without that and had the same kind of it would have had the same kind of tone of
You
to
would
it.
have had the same tone. Like they should have brought the babysitter as well. Like, so there is a fourth person in.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Why not?
because yeah, hey, why not? Yeah, because it didn't really make sense to have him come there and be on the side of Paddy and
I'd be in the
Kiara. It
other
just
one. Though the scene with the hammer was very, very funny too. It
yeah, that's yeah,
was brutal. That was funny.
brutal. Yeah, because you don't know what's up until that you don't know what's going to happen. Is he going to
Yeah.
get is he going to get sharded or is he well? But no, he was fine. And then just hammer in the back of the head's a quick way to go, I suppose.
Yep.
Um, is there anything else you would like to bring up?
No, I think that's all. That's all I had. Um,
Yeah.
so let's go into
And
scores.
yeah, another thing I liked the ending was that Agnes was finally able to shed her kind of because
Bunny. Yeah.
she's always needed her Hoppy. You know, she passed Hoppy on because she didn't need him anymore. I thought that was nice. That was kind of a nice resolution to that kind of air brackets helicopter parenting. She was finally finally grown up. You know, she's 12 with a bunny to sleep with, and they're always very soft parenting with her, you know, telling her
Yeah.
to have an inside voice when she's outside and that kind of stuff. I think that would probably end after everything that
Sure.
happened to them.
Yep.
All right, scores. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I liked it. I didn't love it, but I do recommend it. I think it's a good film.
Yeah. I give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it. I like the tension. I like James McAvoy in just everything he does, but he's pretty good in this one. And the other actors are fantastic too. I thought then it was quite fun when you're getting after the reveal, after the plot twist. I liked it. I've seen it twice. There's a good chance I will go back to it because it's a very enjoyable movie. So
There you
yeah,
go.
4 out of 5.
Happy days. All right. Well, please let us know what you think out there. Did you agree or disagree with our views, our scores? Please give us a like, a comment, or subscribe. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.